I and a million other self-help people can give you the framework to accomplish your goals. You can take all the time in the world to decide what you want and audit your reality, but without actually changing your behavior, things will stay exactly the same. You might even be worse off because you know why you aren't where you want to be, but are still powerless to do anything about it. Even worse, what if you do change your behavior, but immediately slip back into old habits? It can seem like a painful cycle that is impossible to break. No matter what you try to do or change in your life, unless you take charge, nothing will ever happen. Instead of worrying about your potential for failure, let's try to figure out why so many of us never even bother trying. Why we don't take action. Why is it that we don't do the things we know we should do? How is it that we can know exactly what to do, but be unable to get ourselves to do it? These are tough questions to answer. There are many factors, but let's focus on two important ones: our beliefs and our biases. Our beliefs. We all carry a set of beliefs with us everywhere we go that we've adopted over years of navigating life with a unique set of experiences. Beliefs shape our views of the world, ourselves, our worth, and even what is possible. For example, if we believe we aren't worthy of change, then we will never take the kinds of actions that someone who believes the opposite might take. This isn't exactly a fair system, because it means that someone who has beliefs that are suited to improving their life will automatically have a massive leg up on the person who doesn't. The good news is that it's possible to change your beliefs to better match the outcome you want to create. But before we look into that, let's take a look at why our beliefs drive our behavior so much in the first place. Humans have survived as long as we have by fitting ourselves into groups. During our hunter-gatherer stage, we lived in groups because we knew that it would increase the likelihood of survival. As a natural side effect, we adopted beliefs about the world that prevailed within the group in the same way that our beliefs today are shaped primarily by the people we surround ourselves with. This is part of the reason that people tend to divide themselves by ethnicity naturally, and why people tend to spend their time surrounded by others who are like them. By surrounding ourselves with people who have similar beliefs, we're able to quickly understand the basic tone of the group and fall into place, allowing us to define who we are and where we fit in. As a result, we act in accordance with the beliefs defined by the group, and then we take actions that are consistent with those beliefs. If we go back to our hunter-gatherer roots, it was also likely that straying from the beliefs of the group could have led to being removed, virtually guaranteeing the chance of death. This could be a reason that we tend to divide ourselves based on beliefs, because in the past, doing anything other than that could have ended your life altogether. What we believe will drive the actions we take, which will drive what we are capable of experiencing in our lives. As such, if we aren't careful to consistently analyze and improve our beliefs about the world and our place in it, we may find ourselves sabotaging any chance of success before even having a shot at making things happen. Our biases. There are many different psychological biases that have a much larger effect on us than we realize. We discussed one such bias, the status quo bias, in Chapter 1. It is the human tendency to hold the things and people we know in much higher regard than anything new, even if that new thing turns out to be better for us. Put simply, we like things to stay familiar, and any deviation from that status quo is perceived as a loss, even if it's positive. This is huge if your goal is to change your life, because it means that, by default, you will be wired to do nothing at all and sabotage your possibilities. It gets even more terrifying when you realize that this bias you have might actually be causing you to make poor decisions without even knowing it. Have you ever had an opportunity to do something that could have been good for you and chose not to? Maybe in the moment you told yourself it was because you weren't qualified or were too tired. But how do you know that it wasn't just a human desire to keep your life exactly the same? This bias rears its head in decision-making on both a conscious and a subconscious level. Sure, we say we want to make more money, But when it comes to taking the actions required to accomplish this, it will always feel easier and better not to do so.